Hey smugglings, what is happening? Just wanted to do this video discussing games that I don't currently have that I want to have, and I may not have access to them, or they may be too expensive and I want them. I want them with me now. So that is what I'm going to be talking about here. Games that I don't have that I want, essentially. And there could be a few different reasons as to why I don't have them. There could be financial reasons, due to them being too expensive, or I don't have the console that they're on, but I really want to play them. So that's what I'm going to be talking about here. Got a selection of games here that I'm going to be discussing, and they're going to be games that I really want to play, but I can't play them because they're too expensive, or they're on a console that I currently don't have. And that is what I wanted to discuss in this video. And there may be some games that I've played before and I've had before that I stupidly sold that I want back, but that is what we're going to discuss in this video. So I'm going to go through those games right now. I'm going to have a bit of a discussion about those. So the first game I'm going to bring up here is not just one game, it's a selection of games, and that is the PS2 Silent Hill games. And it's excluding Silent Hill 1 and 2, as I do have them. It's Silent Hill 3, 4, The Room, and Origins and Shattered Memories. And these games are becoming increasingly more expensive as time goes on, and I'm kicking myself for selling Silent Hill 4 especially. I had Silent Hill Shattered Memories and Silent Hill Origins on the PSP and really loved them there. And a little bit of trivia, Silent Hill Origins was the first one that I played, and I absolutely adore that game, and I want it back. Or I would at least like some sort of port to PS5 perhaps, and that will do me fine with all of these games, quite honestly. I just want them to be accessible to me in a convenient way, and that would be great if they could be ported to the PS5 and put on the PS Store for me to consume there. I'd be totally happy with that. I don't have to have the physical copy, but I'd just like to be able to play them again. So those are the games that I want to speak of first. The Silent Hill PS2 games: 3, For the Room, Origins, and Shattered Memories. And like I said, I don't currently have them, but would really like to play them. And some of them are cheaper on other consoles, but I don't want to get a Wii. I'm not gonna bloody get those motion controls and all the accessories and all the shit that Nintendo has, because Nintendo has so much again accessories that they have for their consoles, and I'm not dealing with that. I just want a controller. I'm just a meat and potatoes kind of guy. I just want the controller in my hand, you know what I mean? But that is completely fine. So hopefully they'll get ported soon with the success of Silent Hill 2 Remake. I want them to get ported to PS5 so they're just accessible for me there. So that'll do me fine, quite honestly. So hopefully that will happen sometime soon. Get on that, Konami. You hear me? Get on it. Right. Next one is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So I don't have a Switch. I've played Switch with my family and I've had a great time doing it. Me and my sisters play Mario Kart 8 occasionally, and we have a great time doing it, and it's a lot of fun. And I have had some experience with the Switch playing those games, and I've played Tears of the Kingdom because I bought it for them, so I've played a little bit of that. But obviously it's their console, so I don't want to hog it too much because it belongs to them, and I've not been able to make the leap to getting a Switch, quite honestly. And the simple reason is that there's just not enough for me on the Switch. Zelda is the thing that would really draw me to it, and apart from that, there's nothing really there. But the Breath of the Wild game is a game that I really want to try. Obviously it's quite old now, it's several years old, and it's been on the system for quite a bit, and there's the Switch 2 coming quite soon. And Zelda is a series I loved when I was a kid, and I still love the games that I played in the series, and I really do want to try Breath of the Wild, but I guess what I'm really asking, guys, is please give me a Switch. No, I'm not asking that. I'm not asking that. Please give me a Switch. No, I've just not been able to make the leap to get a Switch on the amount of money that I currently have. So I just don't want to get it right now. But we'll see what happens in the future. In all honesty, I'm very happy with what is on PlayStation. But it would be nice to be able to play some Zelda games on the Switch, but we'll see what happens. That is just one that I have in my mind that I'm thinking about occasionally that I do want to play. So that is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild there. The next game is Haunting Ground. This is the PS2 survival horror game from Capcom that is a spiritual successor to a game that we will talk about later, but right now, because I'm talking about this game, so we won't talk about it right now. But Haunting Ground is a game that features this character, Fiona Belly, and she's on a drive with her parents, and the car crashes into something else, and she gets drawn into this castle. She's a prisoner in this castle, and it's a classic survival horror game that you find on the PS2 and PS1, where you've got fixed camera angles, you've got environments to explore, you've got notes to read, you've got enemies to evade, and it's a really fun game, and a game I really liked quite a bit, and it was really great. And you got the dog character Huey that is your companion in the game, and he's very helpful, definitely useful in evading a lot of enemies, and he's a good dog. He's a good doggo. So that is Haunting Ground. Very good game that I did enjoy on the PS2, and I would like to experience again, quite honestly, because I've never finished it, but I really did enjoy it. It does get quite hard near the end, and a lot of survival horror games do get quite difficult as you continue to play them, especially during that era. They do get quite difficult, but Haunting Ground was a very good game, and I'd love to be able to try that again. So that is Haunting Ground there. The next game is the game that Haunting Ground is a spiritual successor to, and that is Clock Tower. So this is a Clock Tower on PS1, so that would be the second Clock Tower. I'm actually playing through the Clock Tower Rewind right now on PS5, as that got ported there. But it was always the PS1 Clock Tower that I saw first, and I always wanted to play because it looked so interesting, and I love that aesthetic. I love the PS1 survival horror game aesthetic. It just looks really good, and I love that gameplay style, and I really do want to try that, and it's really interesting. And there was quite a few games that were rebranding themselves on the PS1, but they had previous entries, and you think of Metal Gear Solid as well, and that's one that springs to mind, where it was Metal Gear Solid and you thought it was the first game in the series, but actually there were previous games that came before it. And it's really interesting the way games are trying to rebrand themselves so new people could come in for the games on PS1. It's quite interesting, but that is one I want to try, the PS1 Clock Tower, and I can't imagine that's too far off getting ported to PS5 on the PS Store. I imagine that's probably going to happen sometime soon. So that is Clock Tower there. Next game is one that I don't believe we got over here, and that is Parasite Eve, because we got Parasite Eve 2 but not the first one here, and that's one I've always been interested to try. And like I said, I just love the PS1 survival horror gameplay style, and I'd really love to try this out. And like I said previously, with the majority of the games, I'd be happy if they were just ported to PS5, and this is some sort of wish list for me to just have them be requested to be ported onto PS5, and I'd be happy with that, just to be able to experience them, get them trophies as well, get that trophy support, because I do love me trophies. You know, I struggle to get a lot of them because they're so damn hard, but I do enjoy getting trophies. They are very addictive. But I would love to have Parasite Eve on there, and another one of those games that is an example of the survival horror boom that was in the late 90s, and one that had those interesting mechanics of being an RPG as well as a horror game, and had really great experimental style to it, and I'd love to be able to play Parasite Eve there. So that is Parasite Eve right there. The next game is part of a series that I really love, and I want to play this game, and I can't believe they haven't ported it already to the PlayStation Store, because it seems like it wouldn't be too hard to do, and I know there are some things that may inhibit the game's ability to be ported to PS5, but that is Uncharted Golden Abyss. And this is the prequel to the Uncharted series that was released by Sony Bend on the PS Vita, and as I've said before, I made the choice of having the Nintendo 3DS instead of the PS Vita, and I do not regret that choice, because 3DS had a lot more games on it than the PS Vita, and I really don't regret my choice there, because I think the 3DS is a great console, and I've heard the PS Vita is a great console, and I've seen a lot of great things about it, but I chose the 3DS, so I didn't have access to the PS Vita at the time. That game is a blaring omission, as it's not included in the Uncharted collection on PS4, and it's the one that's missing from there. So it'd be nice to have them all together on one console. And as an Uncharted fan, it does pay me a little bit to be missing out on that particular game. So I'd love to have that on the PS5 available to have there, and I'd really love to have that game there. So that is Uncharted Golden Abyss right there. So the final game we got here is a game that was a survival horror game on the Wii, and that is Cursed Mountain. And that is a game that is a survival horror game. We play this man, and you're climbing this mountain and trying to retrieve someone very close to you. And I heard a lot of great things about this game, and I love games that take place in snow-capped environments. I think that looks awesome. I think it looks amazing all the time, and I love that particular piece of environment. And I really love Rise of the Tomb Raider as well, because that was a game that was heavily featured in snowy environments, and it was really awesome. And Cursed Mountain is a game that I've seen a lot of over the years, and I really do like the look of it, and I would really like to try it, but I have not done so yet, and it's locked on the Wii. And that's what's great about remasters and ports, is that they are accessible to a whole new audience. And a lot of these games I do want to be ported to the PS5 so they can be more readily available, and I'd love to be able to try Cursed Mountain. And it's published by Deep Silver, I believe, so it is possible that it can be ported, as it's not a Nintendo property, so it's not inhibited in that way. So it would be nice to have that game there, and I'd really like to try that game. As a fan of survival horror, I would really like to try that game. So that is Cursed Mountain right there. So those are the games that are currently released that I don't currently have, that I would like to play a lot. And let me know yours, smauglings, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, smauglings. Really do appreciate it a lot, and I will see you in the next video. So you guys take care, and I will see you soon.